Hey lovers, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Bubbly Win and welcome back to the Positive Fam, where we're all about positivity. Today I have an interesting video. I have a real requested video today. People have been asking me from my Facebook page how I disclose my status to my partners, how I actually tell them that I'm HIV positive. So I'm going to tell you a story. So it's going to be kind of a story time whereby I tell you my experience on telling my partner about my HIV status, and then that will kind of answer your question about how I tell my partners about my HIV status. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First boyfriend when I was in first year, right? So when I was in first year, which was like 2 years ago. So my first boyfriend, we dated, we met on Facebook. So we we kind of were chatting on Facebook for like 3 months, and we were friends before we became girlfriend and boyfriend, of course. So we were chatting for like, before we met, we were chatting for like 3 months. We started being friends, and then he shadowed me, and then yeah, I agreed to be his girlfriend, you know. So then he was staying in Mpumalanga, so I was in Joburg, of course. So we were chatting for like 3 months before we actually met, you know. So like I was I was in love with this person, he was in love with me, you know, we were in love with each other. But then I was scared of telling him. I was so scared of telling him. I was thinking that if I tell him, I'm going to lose him. I was still new into this relationship thing, so I didn't know, you know, anything. So I was so scared. I was afraid that he was going to leave me. So like I didn't tell him for the 3 months we were chatting on Facebook, and then I saw that things were getting serious, you know. So I was about to meet the guy now. I was going to meet the guy, you know. I eventually gathered the courage to tell him that I'm HIV positive. I was like, you know, what will be, you know. I just need to tell this person, because I need to be honest, because like honesty is very important in a relationship, you know, for you to trust each other, whatever. So I need to be honest with this person and tell them my HIV status, you know. I finally told him about my HIV status. Well, I would say that like the way you disclose your status to your partner plays a vital role. The attitude that you have about yourself, like it paints a picture about you, about your self-confidence, how you feel about yourself, your self-image when you tell him. So when I told him, I was so emotional, I was crying and whatever, you know. And yeah, I think that kind of painted a picture about my self-confidence then, because then I was living with HIV for a long time, but like I hadn't accepted it proper, you know. I was still looking at myself and thinking, oh my God, I have this, you know. Whenever I would think about it, I would cry. Why would God do this to me, you know, and ask those kind of questions. So like I was not confident in myself that time. So I told him I was crying, whatever. He comforted me, poor boy. And then he told me that he doesn't care about all of that. He accepts me, you know. So he accepted me the way I am. And we were like, we were in this relationship thing for a while, you know, and then yeah, we were okay, we were happy, nothing changed. The way he treated me didn't change, you know. He was still treating me the same way, looking at me the same way, telling me he loves me every day, you know. Nothing changed. But like we broke up with the guy, you know. We broke up for some other reasons. We broke up. So like during our breakup with the guy, you know, when you're breaking up, you'll have arguments and stuff, you know. It wasn't like a smooth breakup, so we had arguments and stuff. So when we were arguing, the time we were breaking up, he said something to me. He said to me, I loved you the way you are. I loved you the way you are, you know. So that kind of triggered something in my mind, that if he's saying this, then what is he trying to say? You know, what is his statement? What is behind his statement that he was doing me a favor by being with me, you know. So that's what was in my mind that time. See, okay, when this guy says he loved me the way I am, he's implying that he was doing me a favor, or that I'll never find anyone else who would love me the way he did, you know, who loved me with my HIV status the way he did, and who accept me the way he did, you know. So that kind of drove me. And from that time, I was so sad, you know. It didn't sit well with me the way he said it, you know. And like, I was so sad that I felt like no one would love me the way he did, you know. And then I felt at some point like I should go back to the guy, you know. We should fix things, we should try and fix things, because like he's the only one who will be able to understand me, who will be able to accept me in everything, you know. He'll be able to accept me. So like that kind of drove me, you know. I was like, no girl, no, you don't need him, you know. You don't need him. And then you don't need him to be doing you a favor by being with you, you know. He isn't doing you a favor by being with you. He's being with you because he wants to be with you. It is not your fault that you guys broke up. It is not your fault that you are the way you are, and he shouldn't be saying such things. So I said to myself, you know what, girl, after this breakup with this guy, you need to heal first. And after, when you have healed, when you meet someone else, you need to tell them head on, straight out, about your status, so that before you're deep into things, you can know how he feels about the you that you are, you know, how he feels about you, before you get deep into things, before you get too attached to this guy, you know. So then I started my Facebook page, whereby I talk about my HIV status. I tell the whole world literally about my HIV status. That kind of gave me like the courage now to, okay, so when my next boyfriend comes along, I'll be able to tell him about my HIV status, because now I'm not afraid anymore. I don't care anymore what they think, you know. I'd rather tell you now and deal with the heartbreak now, rather than later, when I tell you later and then you leave me, or you don't want to be with me, or you treat me in a certain way later when I am attached to you. So I'd rather tell you now that I'm HIV positive, and I shouldn't be telling you sobby, and I shouldn't be crying and telling you and having the low self-esteem and whatever. No, I should be bold, brave, and confident when telling you I'm HIV positive. This is how I am, this is who I am, and this is excuse me, this is who I'll ever be to anyone. This is who I am. This is what I will always be. This is who I'll always be. And it's either you take me as I am, or you leave. It is as simple as that, you know. And I felt like I don't care anymore. If you go, you go. If you stay, you stay. You were not meant to be with me if you go. But if you stay, that means we were meant to be together. So like from there, that it became easier to tell my boyfriends that I'm HIV positive, you know. So my next boyfriend was easier to tell him that I'm HIV positive. And even now when I meet someone, you know, and they showing like potential, they showing like signs or whatever that they want to be my boyfriend, or like they want to be my potential partners, like I tell them, you know, that I'm HIV positive. This is who I am. I become brave and bold and tell them, and I tell them with so much confidence that they see right through me that I am not feeling sorry for myself. Therefore, they should not be feeling sorry for me, you know. And I will not settle for less than what I'm worth because of my HIV status. I will not settle for a relationship that I'm not happy in. I will not stay in a toxic relationship only because I'm HIV positive, only because I'm afraid that you're gonna go and I'll never find someone else to love me and accept me the way I am. I believe that I will find someone eventually who will accept me, who will love me the way I am, who will not make me feel bad about myself. So if I tell you now and then you don't accept me, it's fine. You can go, you know. Thank you next, right? You can go, and then I'll find someone who's going to love me the way I am. So the moral of the story is the attitude that you tell your partner that you're HIV positive with, the attitude that you have about yourself, the self confidence, the self image, you know, the way you tell him. If you tell him crying, he's going to use this against you each and every time you guys are in an argument. Each and every time he'll use it against you. But if you are confident and he sees in you that this girl is very confident, she loves herself, and she's very she sees herself as this beautiful girl, she won't settle for anything less than what she's worth, then he will respect you, he or she will respect you. So your partner will respect you, and like it'll kind of be easy. Do not cry. Do not cry when disclosing. You even like you feel like you want to cry, you know. I know it's kind of difficult for some people. Do not cry. You rather cry alone in your room, you know, without him seeing you. But when you cry, it will give him power over you to use this against you. You know, so that's the first thing. The attitude is very important. The second thing is you shouldn't settle for less than what you're worth because of your HIV status. You shouldn't stay in a toxic relationship only because you're afraid of losing someone because they've accepted you with your HIV status. You shouldn't do that. You know, you are way more excuse me, you are way worth more than what you think. You are worth great things. Like anybody else, you are worth greater. You know what I'm saying? You are powerful, you are beautiful. You are beautiful, you are handsome. You shouldn't let anyone make you feel less worthy because of your HIV status. You know what I'm saying? You're still the same person. I'm still me, you're still you. Even though you have HIV, even though you're living with HIV, you just like you are not a normal person, basically. So you shouldn't settle for less only because of your HIV status. And I think also the one thing that plays a vital role in this disclosing thing is how your partner reacts. You know, I wouldn't say I was fortunate or was lucky, you know, but I found someone who accepted me. You know, it's not every time you find someone who will accept you the first time you get into this relationship thing, you know. So the way your partner reacts kind of does something to you, you know. The next time you're no longer afraid to disclose to your partner because the first partner you disclosed to, they accepted you. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of easier the next time, even if they do not accept you. But when you tell the other person, your next partner, it's kind of easier because you've done it before, you know. Like it gets easier with time. It gets easier with time, but do not put pressure on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. If you feel like this guy is not yet does not yet deserve to be told about my HIV status, just girl or boy, don't tell him or her yet. Take your time, observe him or her, what you think. You know, if you feel like now you're ready to tell them, you can tell them. And then another thing that I feel you should take from this whole story of mine is that love yourself. You know, love yourself first before you love someone else. Love yourself before you love your partner, because if you love yourself first, you won't settle for less. You won't settle for anything that you feel like you're not worth it. You know what I'm saying? You won't settle for something that you feel like you don't deserve. You won't stay in a toxic relationship because of your HIV status, because you are afraid that someone will leave you because you're HIV. I mean, you are afraid that if you leave that person, then you won't find someone else who will love you and accept you the way you are. You should just be brave and bold and believe in yourself Tell yourself that I'm beautiful. I'm gonna find someone who will love me the way I am. So like I feel like love yourself first so that you'll be able to love your partner, because it's kind of different with other HIV positive people, you know. Because if I have a bad image about myself, I always be insecure that what if he there are some people out there are some girls out there, of course there are some girls out there who are HIV negative, you know. What if he has someone out there who's HIV negative, he's busy with, you know, you won't feel secured around your partner. You feel like, no man, he has someone else. You'll be insecure all the time, only because you feel bad about yourself, only because you don't believe, you don't trust in yourself, you're not confident. Your self-image is bad, so do not do that. So again, another thing is that if you find someone and they accept you with your HIV status, you tell them and then they accept you, does not mean you guys are meant to be together. No, it does not mean that you guys will get married, you know, will live happily ever after. No, it does not mean that. You can find someone else like me. You can find someone like me who will accept you with the HIV status, but then down the line you guys break up, you know. It is not your fault. Just know that it is not your fault. You were not meant to be together, you know. So don't feel bad that I found someone who accepted me and then now we broke up. I don't think I'll ever find someone ever again. No, you will find someone who would love you and accept you the way you are. So just believe that, walk tall and believe that you will find someone who will actually love you and accept you the way you are eventually. So does not mean that if you are with this person now that they're gonna be your forever. No. And if you meet someone and they do not accept you, does not mean it's the end of the world. Does not mean you'll never find someone else. That is it, you guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.